Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Paid my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys.
I just wanted to get to the chorus one more time.
It's just that good.
It is
just
good.
that good of a song. Thank you to our friend Mo Bandy for letting us have that.
Gratis.
That was a great moment, and this, Mr. Bandy, how would someone go about, using one of your songs as our theme song? And he said, we just have to ask the guy that wrote it. So y'all have fun with it. Do what you want. Nothing written, not just like our advertising contract. Nothing in writing. Just, hey, you want to advertise with us? Come on. Come on. Just pay the bill and help us pay the bills. And everybody's a winner.
Help us grow. Mark Kurtz, Wendy Hughes Garcia, Greg Garcia, first ones in this morning. Look at the Garcia's up and at him on a spring break Monday. Or is it?
I owe Mark Kurtz a howdy. I had every good intention on Saturday of getting out. Industrial got a new school. This is what I love about small towns, Cody. I get out to Inez or Industrial to Vanderbilt as often as I can for sporting events. And they had, and I don't know how they got it, but they've got a new scoreboard. I don't know if it's got a sponsor, if they bought it themselves, whatever, but a new baseball scoreboard. Okay. And they had just a good old fashioned fish fry and a day to celebrate scoreboard day. And they, pulled the curtain off of it and have a new scoreboard. That's a big deal. And I really, really wanted to go. And I had to be somewhere at 6, and Dawn was out of town. Rylan was playing in a baseball tournament over in Tomball, and I just couldn't coordinate it where I could be home and have her. So I didn't get to go, but I was there in heart. Spirit, and I love those kids. They're all Sammy and Major LaRue and some of the kids at the Cheneys. Some great, great families out there. And
how many of the Wade and Carter sponsors are on that scoreboard?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see Wade and Carter make a guest appearance out there. I've been trying to find out some places that we'd like to put a banner. It's just, for us, it's all just net expense. I don't know if there's any better advertising than the great listeners we have. But, I want to support things. I asked you over the weekend. I went down, and folks, if you haven't seen this Jaguar baseball team, we'll get to the weather. Okay. It's 50 something. It's going to be 79. This basic trivia brought to you by AT Drill and Feed, the great folks at AT Drill and Feed. I get down to Riverside this weekend. Saturday noonish was as perfect a baseball day as you could have. And I'm talking about it got a little windy, but in general, a slight breeze. If you sat under the canopy, you were a little chilly. And if you sat in the sun,
almost a little hot.
The sun was hot, but it was comfortable. And I took the new puppy and I went down there, and the Jaguars just pounded Texas A&M, Texarkana. And you'll find today, as we discuss things, the idea of any Texas A&M school just getting pounded seems to be what's happening these days. But beautiful day for baseball. Coach Stavanoa just ridiculously aggressive on the bases. It is a blast to watch these guys play. You get a guy on first base, he's going. They know he's going. They try to pick him off. The next time he goes to the plate, gone, stolen base. And then every time, so the kids got excited, and these are kids, but they're grown men. When they run by, they are college athletes. These guys are big. And so you'll hear coaches say, barrel up, get the barrel on the ball. Well, these kids start getting hits, hit after hit after hit. And the kids in the dugout are going, barrel party. It's a barrel party. And the pitcher from Texarkana was clearly rattled.
Yeah.
And it was just fun to watch. And at one point, Coach Stav is standing over there in his third base box. I don't know why. They paint a box, and the manager never stays in it. It's like it's a proximity thing. He's not in the box. He's near the box.
Supposed to.
Right. Well, this one, so Stav moves down the line. He's closer to the third base umpire.
Yeah.
Well, this guy comes up, and you know, a pitcher will kind of he'll start like this, and it's like this, and he'll go do his foot, do his foot, do his foot. Then he comes set, and then he pitches. Well, this guy changed up his cadence, if you will, and in the middle of this guy pitching, Coach Stav turns to the umpire, and it's quiet there. I mean, I'm sitting behind him. He just goes, "What was that?" He hasn't done that all game. What is that? We had a runner on base. So technically, Stav was saying, "Did he balk?" And the umpire goes, "I don't know what that was." I don't know. And the pitcher is on the mound looking over at them like, "Hey, can I pitch?" It was great baseball. And this Jaguars team is now
25-3.
25-3 after a sweep of A&M Texarkana.
Something I've never seen. I've been around a lot of baseball. Rafael Gutierrez has 2 home runs on the year. He hit one Friday night grand slam.
Now, Caden says he can't hear us on the radio, but I'm certain that we're on the radio. I feel good about it. Ash says we may not be there. The Wayne Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. It's 51 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high of 79. Skies should be sunny. Later this afternoon, they are describing it as windy. Gusts, well, okay. Is this windy in South Texas? Gusts are up to 7 miles an hour.
That's not windy.
That's
at
not
all.
windy. Now, I'll tell you where it's always windy. If you play golf, you get out on Colony Creek, you get out there by the loop, and it is always
I
windy.
think Ash left.
He's
There
back.
we go.
He's back.
Anyway, to finish my thought, Rafael Gutierrez hit 2 home runs this weekend. One on Friday, one on Saturday, both grand slams.
That's awesome.
There's only 2 home runs of the year.
Nothing like quite having 2 homers and 8 RBIs in 2 games.
Pretty crazy.
That's a good start.
And hats off to the Jaguars softball team as well, sweeping Jarvis Christian and Texas College. So they win 4 on the weekend.
Wow.
And rolling in conference play as well. Just 1 loss in conference. So, yep, good weekend. It's a great weekend.
Awesome stuff.
Ryan Hopping checking in. Bobby Leister, Lisa Poole, Linda Chris, Mark Zapata. Good morning. Funky Trey Molina, Randy Langston, Sherry Jacobs, Monty Howard checking in. Jordan Glass, Rena Scherer, Scott Tomko, Stephanie Connie, Mark Kurtz, Bill Posey, Paul Rodriguez, Tammy Keeling, Marvin Mickus, Ricky King, Buddy Stavanoa, Scott Snow, Heather Stewart, Judge Posey, good morning. Terry Murray checking in.
I'll tell you something that blows my mind, and it's just, I'll admit, going into this baseball season, I fully expected the Texas Longhorns to be a 500 ball club. We do have a new skipper. It's been in the news. We got him from Texas A&M. And look, Judge Don Poe's got a new Facebook account. Morning, Judge. But the Aggies, so we took the Aggies coach, and I thought Texas would be a 500 club just because he doesn't have his players. None of that. Texas is 17-1. They lost their opening game against Louisville, haven't lost since. They swept Mississippi State this weekend to be 3-0 in the Southwest Conference.
I think of that guy at first named Will Clark is pretty good.
Yeah, and his backup, Rafael Palmeiro. But Mississippi State, after the sweep is 10-7. Oh, 13-7. They came into the deal 13-4. And Texas swept them. But just to show you how much coaching matters at the collegiate level, the Fighting Texas A&M Aggies are 10-9 on the season and dropped 3 straight to Alabama. And they have the most expensive roster in the history of college baseball. The story I got was that of the kids that came back
Yeah.
They paid him $5 million in NIL to come back. And
For a non-revenue sport.
for a non-revenue sport, that's incredible. And it's uncanny. And us not being on the radio may not be on our end, Ash.
No, I don't think it is.
So all of you that are telling us we're not on the radio, you're telling us on Facebook. So let's just let it go. But I find it interesting that the Aggies have been struggling. See there? Now, see, he says a new account. I've done nothing. I'm going to VCS later. Your name changed from Don Posey to Judge Don Posey, and there's a different picture by your account.
You notice this stuff.
I noticed this stuff because that's our judge. It's the guy. So maybe he got hacked.
I think so.
You don't think so? Be curious to see how the season plays out. I don't expect Texas to dominate. The SEC has teams like Tennessee, who's 20-0, Alabama, who's 20-1, LSU, who's 20-1. Those three teams all expected to finish higher than the rest. Everybody,
chances are they could all end up in the World Series.
but you and I had this conversation way back when. The Aggies coming off their best campaign ever last year with a runner-up in the College World Series. Good morning, Uncle Norm. They have a runner-up in the College World Series. Best finish ever. And I think more naive than even football delusion is that you just return right back. You just go right on back to the College World Series. I think that's absurd thinking. Texas fans are naive and ignorant as well, thinking, oh, the Horns are just a lock for the college football playoff. We'll be right back in the mix. I don't ever think that way. And it's a lot more likely, a lot more predictable who this year's college football playoff teams are going to be than it is to figure out whose College World Series teams are going to be.
Baseball's a weird sport.
Tricky sport,
yeah.
man. And the idea that
and it all hinges on your pitching. If you end up with some pitchers that are hurt, your season's
you're
toast.
done.
Yeah.
I joked with some Aggie friends that and I liked watching Aggie baseball. Don't get me wrong. They were good and they were fun to watch. I told them, I said, there were Aggies that I knew that were saying, I'll bet you $50. I'll take the Aggies to win the College World Series. And I said, well, I'll take the field. Yeah, for 5-1. Give me the field. There's no such thing as a lock.
Who's the last? We had some repeats lately, back to back. I mean, the last one I remember was Oregon State way back then.
Oh yeah, no, I can't recall. It's a fluky deal. Like you say, one or two key injuries, you can fall out. Good morning, Jenny Alvarez, Daniel Wade White. There's Mr. McNally. That's a good Irishman right there.
Yep. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the fact that Donald Trump, President Trump, I guess, on
you guess he's
the weekend, kind of had to tell people that he was just being sarcastic when he said he was going to end the Russia-Ukraine war on day one.
Right.
Because the leftists take him literally.
On everything he says. Yeah.
And he has so much to undo.
Shouldn't he have learned not to say that kind of stuff, though, in the first 4 years?
It fun, though.
It does make it fun. But no, that's true.
Russia and Ukraine negotiators sitting down today talking about what they're going to do, what needs to be given up, what needs to be acquiesced in order for peace to begin and last.
It's impossible, right, for Ukraine to get out of this mess unscathed. They're going to give up some territory, aren't they?
I would think, but I don't.
How could they not? How could you, if you're Vlad Putin, how could you?
If Louisiana walked across the border of East Texas and
we'd squash them in a matter of days.
Well, but that Cajun Navy's pretty tough.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying
they're from Texas, the Cajun Navy.
They might. I don't know.
What would you do? I mean, it was so.
But let's say they took. I'm trying to think.
I want the casino. No, I want to go the other way. I want the casino.
What if they took Beaumont?
They can have Beaumont.
Would we want it back?
Wouldn't that be
No.
great? We'd give them that little piece right there at the Sabine River.
Where the
just let them
plant
have
is
it.
all stinky all the time.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
We'll keep Port Arthur and
Yeah,
what's the other one? They can have Beaumont.
Yeah, just give it to them.
Orange.
It's fine.
We'll keep orange, and it'll be the golden line segment instead of the golden triangle. We'll give away Beaumont.
They can have the stinky area.
And they think they won. We'll give them Beaumont.
That's
But
right.
they can't have Peter McNally.
No.
We're going to keep Pete.
All right.
Beaumont minus Pete. That's what
Be
we
all
need.
right with it. Yeah.
What if Oklahoma came down? Took the Red River.
They've
all
done
that
that so
water.
many times against my Longhorns. I don't know what to say about that.
Fair enough.
But what do you do?
I don't know. I mean, should Russia be able to keep what they've got? And I don't think so.
I don't think keep all of it.
But I don't think the reality is.
Do you think there's chess and checkers going on here, though? Do you think that there's essential minerals? For example, we know that Russia's in bed with China, and we know that China's been mining the fool out of essential minerals in Africa with slave labor. So do you think there's a chance that there's a huge cache of essential minerals and that territory that they're fighting over may have it? Because the U.S. is sure all hot to trot to get over there and mine essential minerals. And he's never violated his word to me.
Yeah.
I'm going there with engineers. Maybe there's a chance.
I think the radio deal is dying or something over there. It keeps beeping. Just a random beep.
You never can tell.
I know y'all
may be
can't
on
hear that.
Hiatus problems. Magic may have problems. But I wonder if there's something going on in Ukraine that Putin wants. And he's saying, okay, I'll give up.
Well, they say, they keep saying, well, he wanted access to the Black Sea, or the Sea of Azov. And
Doesn't he have that right there? That says Russia. There's the sea.
Yeah.
I don't understand. This seems like an important part right here, that little stretch.
But I mean,
That's
and
not
then
a Kerch.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. Great names, right? Varna, Constanta.
You think that was a leftover from Constantinople? It couldn't
I'm
quite be
sure.
that because that was
Constanta.
Istanbul and Turkey back in the day,
Sevastopol,
right?
Yalta, Sochi.
I've heard Bulgaria is really nice.
I'm not going. If I have to go through Serbia and Romania to get to Bulgaria, I'm just not going.
It's real cheap to stay there, though.
Well, I'm sure it is. They just give you a tent, a hut, and a goat and say, have a great weekend.
There we go. Judge somehow got signed up on it.
There you
got into his old.
He's not usually, he's always up this early.
Is
There's
it-
really no excuse, Judge. We're worried about you.
I think somehow he ended up on his old.
He ended up on
campaign
the
page.
Well,
yeah.
I thought maybe he was going to make an announcement.
We were ready.
I thought he was coming back. Right now he's going, are you kidding me?
He wants
No, I
nothing
want
to do with this
nothing to
garbage.
do with it.
Yeah.
Done my time. Ash is really worried about Magic. And
No, I'm done with it. It's just sitting there.
for all of our listeners on Magic 95.9 who drug out your laptops,
can't
thank you
hear
for
us, yeah.
joining us.
Bonnie Howard says he's read that a big part of Putin's issue in Ukraine is the biolabs.
I don't doubt it.
And guess who funded those?
America, the U.S., the National Institutes of Health,
Yeah. Biden. What else has Biden funded in the last
The
few
Houthis.
years? The Houthis.
Houthis and the Blowfish. Donald Trump coming out strong against the Houthis, saying, hey, look,
attacked them this weekend.
yeah, and said, if you do anything at all against any American asset, he said, I'm going to rain down fire on you like you've never seen.
I did.
I think he meant it. He did. He meant it. And good for him.
They're backed by Iran. Joe Biden, 3 weeks after taking office in 2021, said, you know what? We're not going to keep the Houthis on the terror watch list.
Trump had put them there, and had basically broken them. And Biden's administration always seeking to find the good in people. And I heard on another show, I found it interesting that it's the Republicans who say things like, we're all created in God's image. Yet it's the Democrats who want to see the good in everybody at the expense of reality. They gave the Houthis money saying surely they will feed their people. They bought rockets and missiles and stuff from Russia and Iran, and they started throwing them at us.
The Democrats only want to see the good in people that aren't Americans.
Right.
Because the Democrats,
they think Americans are bad. We're bad
not
people.
you, Peter McNally.
No, they like you.
But those that are running the country are on your party now, the AOCs, the Ilhan Omars.
Yeah. They think that Americans are bad. Our culture is toxic. We're bad people. Americans are bad.
The Jayapals in Washington, they hate the United States. I don't know why they're here.
It's true story. Americans are bad. We're all
I don't know why they immigrated here to
colonizers.
Well, I do know why. They came here they immigrated here to undo what the US has become. And,
That's right.
And they came, if not for Donald Trump, they came darn close.
Junior says, hey guys, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm relocating a bee colony this morning. That's not exactly true. He's supervising as my son Caden is relocating a bee colony.
He's teaching them how to do bees.
He told Caden, be ready to go. I'm picking you up early because I've got to get out there before the bees get all riled up.
Yeah, you got to get them while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
So we bombed the heck out of the Houthis over the weekend, and Donald Trump with a pretty good message to him, telling him, yeah, no, you're not going to do any more of this garbage.
See, Linda Chris says Bill Posey had a hard time getting on Facebook. Makes me think the internet's down over there. Magic.
Yeah.
So if you're joining us from Magic 95.9, welcome. Glad to have you here. Let's take a moment. Thank a few sponsors, folks. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen had a busy weekend. Did you see where there was that 50-car pileup?
Up in, where? Up Lubbock Way?
Amarillo, somewhere around car number 30.
Yeah.
I'm pulling over to the shoulder. Like, we can make it. We just keep going.
Watching video of some of these people driving, like they're pulling travel trailers.
80 mile an hour crosswind of a dust storm.
Yeah. You know it's bad.
And they're just running into the backs of each other.
And you figured, well, you know what? I don't want to delay the spring break vacation one
Press
day.
on through the fog. Allen's Wrecker Service, Compadres design. Compadres can wrap it. They can help you figure out ways to advertise it. They can do all kinds of things to help you promote your business. Caps, banners, whatever you need. Paravita Wellness, get in and get healthy. Let Paravita help you meet your weight loss goals, your weight maintenance goals. This is a great time of year. Spring is here. The days are long. Get out in the evening and make that 1.5 mile, 2 mile. And you know what? Make a 30-minute walk. Make a 30-minute walk 4 times a week. It will extend your life. And the key is, I'd rather live a great life till I'm 84 and die at 85 than live to be 90 and go from the time I'm 70 to 90, just, oh, this hurt and that hurt. My hips broke. Come on, man. Get off that sofa. The office is at 205. Come by and see us. 205. We're actually 207 and a half upstairs. Beautiful space. JP Hull, Mr. Geets have done great things. That's like Farmer Green Jeans, Mr. Geets. Beautiful space.
Yeah, really nice places.
Fantastic acoustics.
And there's
Come
room.
on by. Vera Cruz Restaurant.
Today.
The best Mexican food in town. The best hot sauce, the best queso, the best guacamole, a little hint of olive oil in there. Stirred around, super smooth and creamy. The best.
So good.
Super duper.
It's the best.
I love it there. Of course, I won there. I was voted in by a huge mandate. 8 votes. USA Concrete Coatings, whether you want it sanded, sealed, stained, painted, you want to put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't
crack, stick, peel, or fade.
Reach out to USA Concrete Coatings. They can do it. They do all things concrete.
And I want to give you a reminder today. If you haven't joined the Victoria 100 Club and you want to attend Thursday night's annual meeting,
Ash will be giving autographs. Come on out.
Get to Victoria 100 Club and sign up today, and then you can be there Thursday to listen to the speaker.
You got to
Good
like
one.
it, Cody, when we go places and people come up, and they often do. It's practically as big as Donald Trump's mandate. Ash will sign, like you give him a cap or something, he signs it humbly. But he's got two Sharpies. I mean, like he's not.
You always got to have a back.
He's not a public
You don't know
figure,
this?
but he's always got two Sharpies. In case a kid wants an autograph, he was signing women's body parts yesterday at the Goliad Rodeo. It was great stuff.
Does he have the silver Sharpie? Does he have a certain type?
No,
that he
he's
always uses?
straight black. Fine point. And yeah, on some of those ladies, he was just signing right underneath their tattoo. It was just great. Nice crowd, nice day.
It was a nice crowd.
It was beautiful.
They'll have a tan, and when it wears off, they'll have a tan. The tan line will be there.
That's right. The tan line will be there. Where
Ash was here. Is how he signed.
Right.
Exactly it.
Right.
All right.
Feeling good,
Yep.
Ash.
Check that. Don't go to the Victoria 100 Club website if you want to get in last minute. 578-1502 is an
That's how down we are to the line.
Yeah.
Put me down, Callie. I don't want to get shorted. I'm there. Times 2. T-Light and I are in the house.
Masood Ayub is the speaker. Kelly talked about him. A couple of books written. Great stuff. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, he's gonna be good. Is this Callie?
I don't know.
We get so many texts and messages and love it from you guys. Oh, that's from LaShare. Yeah. This is, you can't see this hardly, but that is there's 4 people in this photo. And it's me, Ash, my father-in-law, Joey Stockbauer, and the rodeo clown. And the clown said, take that picture and ask people to try to pick out which one's the clown. He was very good.
The laws of self-defense is the topic. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, he's going to talk to you about the thin ice you're on that we've talked about here for years, but he's going to have even more details and more examples. I think it's going to be very beneficial. If you're someone who is concerned about if you have a license to carry or if you open carry, or if you're concerned about, well, what happens if? This is not gun smoke. If somebody comes in your home and you imminently fear for your life and you have to defend your family and kill that person, it's the cops don't show up and go, well, there's nothing to see here. Pretty cut and dried. Have a good day. Make sure you unload that firearm. There's going to be paperwork. You're probably going to be detained.
You'll probably get arrested.
What should you say? What shouldn't you say? What can you say that can keep you from getting in deeper trouble, even if it was a legitimate thing to do? Yeah. You need to attend this if you think there's even a chance that you may have to defend your family. I think it's a break. I'm going for sure, and I think Dawn's going to go if she can get enough ammo.
It's this Thursday, Victoria Country Club. $150 for a couple gets you into the 100 Club, and
it's your membership for a year.
578-1502. Call the office today. Get in, and we'll see you there on Thursday night.
Absolutely, great time.
Yeah, it's awesome. Always great programming.
Food's good.
They'll let you know what they've done with the dollars that you provide them.
Oh, it's always a feel-good story too.
Yeah.
They've done so many positive things.
Yeah.
No doubt.
If they should be in charge of Doge.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or the government. I mean, there's just no waste with what they do. It's awesome.
But it is funny. You talk about Doge. Just a quick aside on that. You talk about Doge, and like if you were to walk down the street, not just the streets of conservative Victoria, but the streets everywhere, and you start out asking people, say about the IRS. If you ask people the simple question, do you think that the United States government should run more efficiently? Should they be better stewards of our money? I believe that 100% of the people would say yes. Of course, there's government waste. Somewhere in there's a dollar being spent that even Peter McNally does not support. You want to have that cognizance that says there's wasteful spending in the United States government. Barack Obama talked about it. President Clinton talked about it. It's a bipartisan
Federal
deal.
Register.
There you go. Just the amen. Amen.
It
So
was
that's Barack Obama.
absolutely fine for Barack Obama
14 years ago, he said that.
to make an announcement that we're going to cut government waste and spending, called them stupid ideas, ridiculous. And nobody claimed that he was coming after your Social Security, which Donald Trump hasn't said he's going to do. It's just more of the fear mongering from the left, from the Maxine Waters and all the rest of them. There you go.
No doubt about it. It's just crazy that if Trump talks about it, it's, he can't make those cuts. Apparently he can.
Yeah.
Apparently he can make those cuts. So I think we could hear it. You may have pushed up the Bluetooth instead of the phone. I don't know. It doesn't. It's a Monday. We're kind of like a couple of ducks, Every day we wake up in a new world.
That was probably the one.
Okay. It'll be okay.
I'll try it again.
No, I mean, yes, I think you should, because it's just we're trying.
Means. Government should too. So we can invest in the things that we know will create good jobs and grow the economy.
It's the wrong
things like education and technology.
I can hear it fine.
Besides, after a while, all these cuts add up.
There.
Already we've identified.
Better? There.
Okay,
There.
There you go.
Anyway,
Guys, we're just checking.
So anyway, basically that was Barack Obama 16 years ago, 14 years ago, basically saying that we were going to get rid of all the wasteful spending, and they found 18,000 wasteful programs that the Obama administration targeted to be cut.
He basically said there was a federal register and it was all this stuff and nobody used it anyway. And it had been online for years, but yet they printed thousands of copies at a cost of millions of dollars every year. And he said, we're just not going to print that anymore. It's available online. You want to see it? Go see it online.
It was the campaign to cut waste. President Obama and Vice President Biden launched the campaign to cut waste, which will hunt down and eliminate misspent tax dollars in every agency and department across the federal government.
And it was a great idea when they did it, but it's not a good idea when Trump actually does it.
Sleepy Joe in charge of it.
Yeah. Speaking of Sleepy Joe, do you find it interesting that the president over the weekend, they always do stuff on the Fridays and over the weekend, both parties do it. Trump announces that the pardons that were issued to what he referred to as the unselect committee. This is going to be Liz Cheney, Hunter Biden. The pardons that exempted them on their international dealings are all null and void. Void, and Ash has the comment here from the president, but very interesting because he claims, and this is why you'll recall, this is that deal of, so here's the chess game that you were hearing last week. You remember when they made some grumblings about Joe Biden using auto pen and how that, most presidents do it, but yada, yada, yada. But if Biden was using auto pen while Biden, according to his own party, wasn't cognizant, wasn't capable of doing a lot of leading, the Democrats quit defending the fact that Joe Biden was not in charge of the country.
No, they pretty much admitted
They've admitted as much. Kamala Harris, Joe, she distanced herself from him in the race because he wasn't making his own decisions, but somehow he pardoned a whole swath of people. Well, President Trump saying that's illegal, and we're going to immediately rescind those.
The pardons that Sleepy Joe Biden gave to the unselect committee of political thugs.
That would be Liz Cheney, etc.
Love that. And many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by auto pen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. The necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people that did may have committed a crime. Therefore, those on the unselect committee who destroyed and defeated all evidence obtained during that 2-year witch hunt of me and many other innocent people should fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. The fact is, they were probably responsible for the documents that were signed on their behalf without the knowledge or consent of the worst president in the history of our country, crooked Joe Biden. That was the Twitter version. I'd love to see what the one on the official website of the president says.
No doubt. Scott Tomko says, doesn't matter what party's in power. You try to mess with the machine and the machine fights back. You saw the machine, the deep state. No doubt about it. They tried to impeach. They tried to burden the president with federal lawsuits. They tried to kill the president on more than one occasion. Twice. This is reality. This is what happened. You got to wonder, like, so if we all agree,
man, when our CIA used to be so good at killing presidents and other leaders of countries,
can't kill anybody now.
Apparently, they can't do it twice.
But you've got to wonder. You've got to wonder who did that stuff. Who did? Is it George Soros? Is it a group of contractors associated with the big money behind? It's not behind the Democrat Party. It's behind the party that's so power hungry that they will sacrifice the country to be among the elites when the country implodes.
I don't believe it's one party behind it. I believe it's what Donald Trump has always referred to as the swamp.
It's
and
like
draining it because these power hungry people exist on both sides of the aisle in Washington, D.C.
Picture, if you will, like the cartel. The cartel doesn't look at their operations in Mexico versus their operations in the U.S. They look at their operations in North America. They ignore our borders. I think the same thing happens in the swamp. These lifetime unelected bureaucrats who've been up there forever and accumulated tons of power, and they are there.
It's gotten
if you
worse.
want something done, you've got to kiss the ring of so-and-so. And it's like, who? Oh, you'll know when you meet him.
Monty Howard says machine equals establishment uniparty.
I agree 100%.
And you know what? It's gotten worse. When government employees were banned for 5 years under the first Trump administration from then taking a lobbyist position, they all kept working for the government or started working for the government. Yeah, it's gotten worse. Speaking of WEF, that's Mark Carney. He is a WEF plant, and he is the guy leading the Canadian Liberal Party. It's funny because Canadians, well, Donald Trump had no political experience. He was never elected to nothing.
That's the only way.
Mark Carney's never been elected to anything, and you want him to run your country.
He's just been appointed to everything. But that's the only way that you can come in objectively and eliminate waste is to be a non-career politician.
You want proof that the deep state exists? On the weekend, President Trump basically issued an order to deport all Tren de Agua gang members from
the Venezuelan guys, the 300 of them, bad people.
Threw a bunch of them on a plane to El Salvador. Trump went, I'm not bringing them back. I don't care what the judge says.
Can you believe that some district judge told a district judge told the president of the United States, you can't do that. Well, you better hide and watch, judge. And that doesn't make him a dictator. It makes him understand his place in the pecking order. This is like some smarmy little district judge. Where was he? In New York? Some guy who thinks he's important. This is the president of the United States. He wants these gangsters out of here. And he told the judge, I don't have to listen to your garbage. I'm paraphrasing, but I say it about as eloquently as Trump. I don't have to listen to your garbage. That plane's in international waters right now, international airspace. And what you're saying doesn't matter. He invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798.
And here's what you need to know. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg in Washington, D.C. ordered a 14-day halt to the deportations on Saturday evening.
Right, where they wake him up from the barbecue.
They have these guys in their pocket on speed dial, ready to go to work.
Yeah.
I can remember when there was a time something would come out on Friday. Well, we're going to have to wait till Monday to get the court to deal with this.
That's right.
They are ready and waiting. And there's a bunch of them they go to because it's never the same one, but they're all the same ilk. And they are ready to go and to rule against whatever.
On a moment's notice, on a Saturday evening. Harumph, harumph. I'll put on my robe, go to my chambers, and I'll sign this ever so important document to put it to Donald Trump. Good luck, man. We're tired of it.
Because there was no due process.
Yes, Tammy asked about the pecking order. See, it starts at the top, the President of the United States. And then somewhere below the Supreme Court, somewhere below the House and the Senate, and down here, way down here, is some local district judge. That guy needs to know his place. Stay in his lane.
This is why the Democrats were so boisterous about the Supreme Court and stacking the Supreme Court, because they were busy claiming that Donald Trump was going to load up the Supreme Court with conservatives. Joe Biden was busy appointing U.S. district judges that were going to do the work that he wanted them to do when he was out of office, or the people, running the auto pen were going to do that.
Ash, it's exactly what the left has done for years. We're going to try to get our people in on the school board, on the city council. We'll try to get them into the state houses. And then you start from the bottom, you erode the foundation. And then the country comes tumbling down. You have to be willing to understand the fact that there are an organized group of highly intelligent people in this country that hate the American way of life. They hate capitalism. They hate democracy. They believe that everybody would be better with one world order and a whole new look, man. Kids are basically taught communism. I'm not talking about our schools. I'm talking about what if everybody was equal? What if everybody had the same things? Wouldn't that be great? And then they become adults and they're like, Elon Musk has too much money. Why don't you invent something, buy something, grow something, make something? No, that's too much work. I just want a living wage. I just want you
to do all the work and then give me half of it.
And pay my school loans while you're at it, because that's how I got so smart to know that I shouldn't have to work. Until you get sick of the machine will continue to manipulate your world. And we're the last beacon. George Bush talked about a light on the hill, a beacon. 1,000 points of light just ain't there, dog. There's like 500 of us left.
That might have been a psyop by George.
No kidding. That guy knew who killed Kennedy, maybe personally. He was dirty.
Here's what I don't get about this judge. He's all worried about the due process of these Tren de Agua guys. 300 of them.
And where is that?
Where was the due process when they came into this country illegally?
Right.
They circumvented it. In my mind, you're here illegally. You have no rights here.
The means by which you're loaded up and sent back to your country doesn't really concern me. It bothers me that the president of the United States has to argue with some district judge clown to do what everybody here agrees is common sense. You got 300 violent, name the crime, rape, murder, robbery, gang members, admitted gang members. You've got 300 of them from Venezuela. put them on a jumbo jet, and drop them off in Venezuela.
I've got a better idea for them. Because they didn't get here on no jumbo jet. It makes it sound old when you call it a jumbo jet.
Send them back to Greenbow, Alabama. They can work for Forrest Gump.
Make a march back.
Be great. The Venezuelan Death March.
Yeah. And monitor it with drones. Get some of those Ukrainian guys that are so good with their dragon drones that are burning forests where Russian soldiers are hiding, and just have them follow them with those dragon drones. And the minute one of them gets out of line, that's what I'm saying.
I like it.
The minute one of them leaves the line of the death of the march back to Venezuela,
drop him right there.
Yep. Take him out.
Yep. Stay in line. Stay in line. Uh-oh.
It'll take just one.
Yeah, real quick.
Before the rest of them stay in line.
There you go. And the world sighs with relief. Venezuelan gang members.
They only care about due process when it can score political points, because they don't care about the due process of these folks when they circumvent it all to get into this country illegally.
I spoke to our friend, former police chief Robert Arredondo this weekend. He said to tell our listeners hi. I told him that we missed him here in Victoria. Not that we don't like Chief Cook, but I told him, hey, we miss you. He said, I miss you guys. Victoria's a beautiful place. I said, how's crime in Carrollton? He said, it's down. We've got a good handle on what's going on in Carrollton. I said, we have a good handle on what's going on here. We don't put up with all that. This is no haven for a Venezuelan gang here in Victoria, Texas.
What else we need to talk about this morning?
We had some stuff. I'll tell you what we need to do real quick.
Take a quick break.
Just to do it. Went Services, Went Electrical. For all your electric needs, you need to get by, find out, I need a new plug out here. I need a new ballast in this light. I'm going to build a building, and I
want it wired. I want it powered. I want to power up my tools.
Then you got Brand Us. Commander Cody can help you with website work. Cody, give me one project. Cliff's notes now. One project you're working on.
We just started doing some work for JP. We're helping the Texas Rangers get their website up and going.
There you go. That's not the baseball club, so you better do it right. Don't put that block T on there. You better get it right. Rangers come down.
I don't know if JP wants people to know that, but
you just told the world.
He's not here, so
there you go. He's here. He'll be listening later. Ads and Offer and adsandoffer.com. One thing I notice I'm always most proud of. On one hand, it's like, well, no wonder they sponsor us. They sponsor everything at the rodeo. But I'm always proud to see Tommy Taylor, the Greason family, and Tommy and his family giving back. And they give back a lot.
Yeah, they supported the Goliad Rodeo this weekend. They supported UHV Baseball's free ticket weekend this weekend.
And they support us
tonight, and they support a lot of things in this community, and they deserve your support as well.
Local people, a family business. They're still a family business just like any other. You look at them and say, well, that's such a big company. It's
1926, right? So 99 years they've been in business.
They're as small as you walking in the front door and saying, I'd like to shake Tommy Taylor's hand, and he'll come out and greet you personally and tell you how to get a new Chevrolet. White Trash Services, White Trash Site Services, same thing. You want to talk to BJ Nelson, dial 550-1826 and ask for BJ. If she's not there, she'll call you back. Chances are she's not there. She's school board member, head of the Chamber of Commerce,
vice president of the company. She's working.
A very, very busy individual, but also a very, very family-owned and operated business. And then Chesney Furniture, same thing.
Yeah.
For over 100 years, Chesney loved making your house a home. Get by and see why you just always do better at Chesney. As for Bobby Leon, he'll come out of his office, and it's not like Groundhog Day. He'd love to come out and shake your hand and tell you thanks. And Palace Bingo, support local charities, support the VFW, support all kinds of Catholic charities. Get by Palace Bingo and have a blast with your family.
Where friends meet friends.
That's Palace Bingo.
Yeah. First State Bank of Louise, friendless little bank anywhere. Astros update. There was talk that the Jose Altuve experiment in left field was going to be over.
I think it needs to be over.
And then he played there all weekend, but
he's batting 185 and he was 0 for 3 on Sunday. So
it's wearing on him. And you know what? I hate to say it. I think also the fact that your Don Alvarez is pinch hitting for the most part. I think that's wearing on him. I think he likes to play in the outfield some, and it keeps him more engaged. He's batting $179. That's not where you need your two best hitters.
Now, before we get into the specifics, listen to these batting averages: 185, 167, 174, 133, 179. Some guy named Price, who I don't know, that catches, is batting 200. Yainer Diaz goes 2 for 3 yesterday with a run to be batting 182.
Cam Smith lighting it up.
Cam Smith batting 420. Cam Smith is a ball player. You look at his stat line from yesterday. He had 4 at-bats, had 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. I mean,
and a home run.
And a home run. The guy can play. And
Jeremy Pena hitting 444. He was 2 for 3 with a run scored yesterday.
So I like it. Cam Smith was in right field last night. And what I think that tells me, Ash, is he's historically been an infielder. You've got to find a place for a guy batting 444, 423. You got to find a place for him on the field.
Yeah. Who's slugging 846. Yeah, he's having a pretty good spring.
He's 25 years old. That's what gets me is it's not like he's trying to make a resurgent comeback. The kid is a young ball player of great potential.
Yeah.
And he's built like Jeremy Pena. He's that big, knobby-shouldered, really, really fine-looking young ball player. I think they're going to be just fine. They got to get the Christian Walker kid back at first. I think he tore an oblique or stretched an oblique.
Yeah, that's an injury that's caused some problems in the past. I hope it doesn't linger.
Well, can't we just shoot him full of something? And
used to be able to.
Well,
in the hockey half minute, Avalanche beat the Stars in overtime 4-3 last night.
You got to get by the First State Bank of Louise, friendliest little bank anywhere, small enough to call you by name, big enough to get it done. Go by and find Lolly.
Yeah, that loss by the Stars, they're well entrenched in the playoff spot, so they're
fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
42-21. The Winnipeg Jets.
Jets are the best team in the NHL.
47-17.
Yeah.
Let's go down here and find the Flames are 30-24, and they're making a playoff.
Nah, not yet. We're 2 points out of the final wild card spot.
How many games they got left?
What do you play? 65. They play 82, so 17 left. I think they're in Toronto.
You've come a long way.
I think they're in Toronto tonight.
You've come a long way. Cody, there was a time he would have said we've played 65. There's 82. Around 20 games left. That's what he would say. He'd give you specific numbers, and then he couldn't do the ought. He couldn't do any ciphering.
Nope, not at all.
He couldn't go 82 minus 65, 17. He'd just go, that's around 20.
Do you think he's learned that from being here on the show,
I think
higher education, or
we told him to?
No, because I when I went into higher ed, when I went into education and got my degree, I was told there'd be no math.
Right. Well, but
he's got me on my game here.
The truth is, there was a time that he would go, Astros have played 80 games and won 40 of them. That's almost 50%. I'm like, what? That is 50. You give me 2 numbers, I can get you close. He's gotten better.
That's an exaggeration, folks.
Yeah. Is it?
I know that's 50%, not almost 50%.
Oh, okay. You were just trying to keep it simple for our audience. Our audience has a lot of smart people in it.
I know they do. What do you make of remember when they went to 4 extra teams playing for play-in games, and now it's just the first 4, like 2 potential 11 seeds, Texas and
Yale.
Who is
Xavier?
Dayton, something like that. Yeah. They are playing each other. I don't get it. Make one at 11, make one at 12, and go back to playing 2 teams that are trying, or 4 teams that are trying to become a 16 seed somewhere.
I don't understand that. I don't understand how you've got 64 teams, which includes 13, 14, 15, and 16 seeds. And yet Texas is playing Xavier. Texas is not good enough to be in the field of 64. They're clearly not.
But if they win, they're in 11. That makes no sense.
They're in 11. Why is that? If anything, they're going to be more tired. They're still not as good. Deemed by the committee, they're not as good as the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's like 24 teams.
Yeah. Houston Cougars, Kelvin Sampson and his gang, one of the number 1 seeds. Auburn, top overall seed. They're number 1. Duke. Who needs Coach K?
Right. They don't. They're Duke.
And Florida are your number 1 seeds in the tournament.
Rick Pitino became the first coach to ever lead 6 different teams to the tournament.
Yeah.
Coaching matters. Coaching matters. Rick Pitino, and
I was trying to
already
find-
a Hall of Fame
I was
coach.
trying to find the bracket, the score. Yeah, but here it is. Okay. San Diego State, North Carolina. Again, 2 potential 11s playing in the first 4. Alabama State and St. Francis will play as 2 16s. Fair enough.
So I don't understand how if North Carolina is a potential 11, why they're not a 15 already. And let the guy that's a 15 play San Diego
That's
State.
exactly what I'm saying. And then San Diego, they're going to be out. They're a potential 11, but if they lose, they're out.
San Diego.
It makes no good sense.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Makes no good sense.
Great stuff.
Oh boy.
Ours is
Lots
not to
of-
question why.
No, it is to question why.
Ours is just a do or die.
Lots of deadly storms over the weekend. At least 36 people have been killed. Tornadoes. We talked about the terrible windstorms, the pileups. North Texas, 12 people killed in Missouri, 6 people in Mississippi, another 3 in Arkansas, 8 people killed in Kansas. There was a 55-car pileup there that saw the deaths. About 200,000 people without power as a result. What you want to know about this one?
That's going to do it for all of us here at Channel 4 News. You stay classy, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy.
I think that's when he goes, go. They made fun of Ron Burgundy that anything you put on that teleprompter, he'll read. One of them, he said he was pretty graphic.
Oh, yeah. Good thing I got that.
I'm glad you did.
I
I don't panic often, but I don't want to
No.
I don't want to be the guy that puts the wrong word.
No.
I may say the wrong word, but I don't want to be the guy that puts it on there.
I mean, we saw it so windy here on Saturday afternoon, and that was just. I mean, we got the weak stuff. North Texas and through the Midwest just got.
I do find it
destroyed by
interesting
the
that
wind.
there's been a tremendous amount of windstorms, and honestly, nobody, not even the deepest left, is calling it anything to do with climate change. I mean, I just find that interesting because
This is the cloud seeding.
I questioned myself, like,
Chemtrails are
why
doing
is
this.
it so windy, so many places?
Yeah, I don't know.
The Chinook winds caused by Tesla vehicles.
Okay. Why are we not calling these Tesla?
They're
Terrorists?
terrorists. They're domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
The left is calling them protesters. They're just protesters.
What are you
Ash.
protesting at a Tesla dealership? These are the cars you loved until Elon Musk was headed up Doge. You on the left's loved
You wanted
the
everybody
electric
to drive
vehicles.
one.
Hell, you wanted the government to give you a rebate to buy the car and to put the charging station in your house. You couldn't wait to get the government money
Yeah.
and support so you could drive an electric vehicle and pay for your charging station.
A guy the other day got caught carving a swastika into the side of a Cybertruck and was arrested. Now, to me, that guy's a terrorist. He's not just a mere vandal.
No,
He's using somebody else to make a political statement.
they're firing Molotov cocktails into dealership windows.
Well, this couple
I
walked
mean, it's a
in.
good thing these cars have no gas. They can't blow up.
I just don't understand. This was a middle-aged couple, and they walked in with like a Yeti type tumbler, a Stanley with the handle. They took the lid off, and there's a robot that's a statue or a piece of art in this Tesla dealership, and they got up and like poured paint on it. And I'm just like, I see those people. I mean, excuse me, I just want to take a bat to them. These people that go into the Louvre and places and vandalize priceless artworks in the name of their political cause, I just want to take a baseball bat to them. Remember that scene in The Untouchables when Capone walks around that table and finds that one guy who did bad? That's what I want to do to those folks. I don't think I need counseling. I think I need some pine tar. Those people need to be put down. I don't get it.
From the trying to induce panic files, the measles outbreak in this state up to 259 cases, 34 hospitalizations, the one death, the one kid who was not vaccinated.
Any parent that doesn't go get a measles vaccine for their kid is an idiot. I mean,
I agree.
there's nothing about the measles vaccine in my lifetime that says there's anything wrong with the vaccine.
That's your COVID vaccine.
Right?
Stock markets are up on Friday. Price of gold crossed 3,000 an ounce for the first time ever.
So that's just people telling you, the market is telling you they expect the dollar to crash.
Yeah. And the funny thing is the left is, this is all making rich people more money. Us poor people can't buy none of this stuff.
Well, I found it interesting coming in this morning. I heard a guy say that the stock market at an all-time low. The last time I was this low was in 23. The guy goes, I got stuff in my refrigerator older than that.
Yeah.
It's a lot to be said for that.
Absolutely. It's just
Everybody
ridiculous.
panics. But, Joe Biden had back-to-back quarters of declining GDP, which is the example of a recession.
And they fought like hell to not refer to it as a recession.
Called it a
right?
recession because Joe Biden's economy was thriving. Don't fall for it. Don't listen to the Main Street media, folks. They lie to you. Have a great day and be safe out there. You can't win the week if you don't win Monday.
Nope.
Go get them.
We'll see y'all. Bye.
We love you, folks.
I've been shot at and cut with a knife.